So let's look at a number, and we'll pick a simple number. We'll start with the number, let me grab my pencil over here. We'll start with the number 2. And you may ask yourself, why would he choose 2? You could have chosen 1, or you could have chosen 0. Well, 1 and 0 have special powers. So they're essentially super numbers. So we're not going to use those guys, because what happens with 0 and 1, there are certain things that happen that don't apply to other numbers. So we're going to stick with the number 2. So let's get rid of all of this and get our pencil back. So let's start with 2 again. Remember, 1 and 0 have special powers, so we'll start with 2 to the second power. I'll put 2 to the 0 here and 2 to the 1 here, and we will deal with those a little bit later. So let's just go ahead and put a little box around those to remind me. Okay, so 2 to the 2 is written as 2 times 2, and of course that equals 4. This number, the exponent, tells us how many times we're going to multiply our base by itself. So if we look at 3 to the second power, that would be 3 times 3, which is 9. Now, I must warn you that I'm a lefty, and as a lefty, I make a lot of sloppy writings and all. And you right-handed people, when you write away from the ink. Left-handed people write toward the ink, which means we tend to drag our hand over what we're writing. And if you're writing with ink, it'll smear it. When you're using tablets, all sorts of cool things happen. And so there'll be some pop-ups and things that'll happen. So I'll try to minimize that. We're getting back to our values here. Let me grab our pencil again. There he is. So we're going with 4 squared equals 4 times 4 equals 16. So we can generalize that using our variable, and let's choose the common value or common variable for algebra, which is x. X squared is equal to x times x. But we don't have a value for that because we don't know what number that x is representing. And we don't need to know. Essentially what we're saying is x to the second power is just x times itself. And we can take that further. So x to the third power is going to be x times x times x. And you can draw the conclusion. It's kind of cool since we are drawing. 4 to the third power is going to be 4 times 4 times 4. Sorry about that little 4. I got a little distracted by my high performance alert here. We'll ignore that. And again, if we could look at 3 to the third would be 3 times 3 times 3. And then 2 to the third would be the same. So we know that if we have a value and we raise it to the second power, it's just, whether it's a variable or whether it's a number, it's that item and we multiply it by itself.